So we're recording. Got that. Everybody have food? Not right now. Still gotta let a couple people in too. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see everybody. I want to welcome you to our first chamber meeting in person in what, 2 years, 2.5, a little more than 2 years. So it's really nice to see everyone. I think I've introduced myself to the faces that I don't know, but I'm Susan Fay. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and we are just thrilled to be actually doing meetings again and also events that are coming up. It'll be so nice to have our community and our business members a part of what we're doing. Anyway, during the whole COVID thing, the last couple of years, it's been tough, but I think that I can speak for both the board and Jessica, our executive director, that we try to do whatever we can to help support not only our business community, but also our local communities. So we're thrilled that we're doing that, and moving forward, I'm excited to see what we have going on. So I'm just going to introduce Jessica. All of you know her. She's our executive director, and she's going to take over the rest of the meeting.
Not the rest of
it.
Wow. This morning I woke up and I had like a little panic attack. Like, how do we do meetings in person? I don't know how. Everybody on Zoom is seeing us through the owl. So in a minute, I'm going to actually turn off the lights because it's the only way that we're going to be able to see the presentation. So it's going to get a little dark. So know where your food is. And then we'll go around and I'll actually have the people on Zoom, if you can get ready to unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves. We'll kind of do just a quick spin around the room. We have two great speakers today that I will introduce in a minute. But why don't we start in the back before Brandon takes a bite? Just who you are and what business you're with.
I'm Brandon, and I'm with Men's Homes Marketplace.
I'll jump back here real quick. I'm with Coastal Community Bank, perpetually late. I do apologize.
It's okay.
Carol Mason, Movement Arts. Reinhardt, also with Coastal Community Bank. And the big question is, when does our Stanwood branch open? And we have a date. Moving is the weekend of the 21st, 22nd, the 23rd, with our new location. So come by and see it. It's beautiful.
Rebecca Greenway with Advanced Skincare. I'm an esthetician for over 20 years. Skincare, facials, all kinds of corrective stuff, acne, rosacea.
And I'm Tracy Smith with the Picnic Pantry in Stanwood. Kitchen and Kitchen. And I'm Mona Campbell, and I'm with Canopy Tours Northwest and Sarah Howard with Visual Photography.
Jack Westland with the Camano Island American Legion. We do bingo every Saturday night at 6.
And I'm Marilyn Davis Westland, representing the American Legion Post 92 in Stanwood.
Welcome.
I'm Linda Younts, and I'm a musician, owner of small chambers, but I also do websites, just did the Ladies Aid website, and working with the Stanwood Historical Sites Tour and the Camano Schoolhouse to do their websites, to help them with website stuff. So both musician and tech.
I'm David Brogels, my first meeting. I'm with Brookdale Stanwood. City of Stanwood.
Welcome.
Kristen Kinnaman with Fights Club of Snohomish County. We are working with the Stanwood Camano Kiwanis to do the Clinchie Mile Camano Climb Bike Ride this Sunday. And thank you to the Camano Chamber for helping to sponsor that event. So that we can help raise money for high school college scholarships and supporting biking in Snohomish County.
And I'm Robert Sarian, Fusion Land Design, smart home and audio video for residential and commercial. So any technology needs, we can handle it.
Great. Sarah, you can introduce yourself quickly. I'll read your bios in a second.
My name is Sarah Cho. I'm the Economic Development and Marketing Manager with the City of Stanwood. I joined the city almost a year ago now, so I'm still relatively new, and I also live on Camano.
I'm Sherrye Wyatt. I'm the PR and Marketing Manager for Whidbey-Camano Island Tourism, and I do live on Whidbey Island. So I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you. All right, Zoom people, we're coming in a second. I'm going to hand out this announcements page. if you have specific announcements about events or something that you have going on that you want to share when we're all done, if you want to just put your name on there, I do have a pen that can go around. And on Zoom, we have Lori Cook. Would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
I certainly would. Hi, everyone. Lori Cook with Wheelhouse Marketing Group, longtime tourism cheerleader in our state and in our region. Just happy to be here.
Thank you. Meg.
Hi, everyone. This is Meg Hart, and I'm with Remax Northwest, and I'm a full-time Camano Island resident.
Great. Milt.
I'm Milt Olson. I'm with the Camano Preparedness Group.
Welcome. Marla.
I'm Marla Williams, and I own Marla Williams Coaching, which is life, career, and business coaching, helping people find peace, prosperity, and purpose.
Thank you. And Sharon.
Hi there, I'm Sharon Linton. I'm a new resident on Camano since the pandemic. I was with Visit Bellevue down in Bellevue, and worked with Lori Cook on some projects with Woodinville. So I'm just interested in tourism and what's happening on the island, and so thought I would jump in today to see how things are. And I wanted to say hi to Sherrye Wyatt. Long time no see.
She's going to be presenting in a minute. And I think we missed you introduction.
Sorry, I'm
That's
Jennifer with Skagit Publishing. I'm the sales manager for Skagit Publishing.
Welcome. And feel free to grab your lunch. I know the table space is limited, but feel free to go ahead and do that. Okay, everyone on Zoom, are you hearing us okay? You have a thumbs up or something? Okay, and you're seeing everybody? Okay, this is our first test of the owl. His name is Easy, because I have to name things. But it's the Easy Island. Yeah, Brandon. Oh, I'm sorry. Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam Pott. I've been on the island since about 2016. I have a consultancy and software called Random Access Software. And I'm actually associated with a software company in Sunnyvale, California called eBay. So anything software can help.
Great. And Sam just joined as a member. So welcome. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to share my screen now, as if we can get any more complicated with technology right now. But we can keep trying. All right. And I apologize that it's a little bit light. I have ordered a new screen for us. It just didn't come in time. So everyone on Zoom, are you seeing the presentation okay? All right, fabulous. So I will introduce Sherrye, and I'm sorry, we're all in the dark here with our fading eyes.
For me.
So I'm going to introduce Sherrye with her bio. She's the Public Relations and Marketing Manager for Whidbey-Camano Island Tourism. She also serves as Island County's Film Liaison and was appointed by the Governor to the Washington Filmworks Board of Directors. Her work with the Tourism Committee began way back in 2010. The 18-member committee is funded by a special 2% lodging tax. In addition to travel and film, she has extensive experience in agriculture, including work within the wine, cider, and tree fruit industries. At one point, she lived in Washington, D.C., serving as the Director of Public Affairs for the North American Export Grain Association. She lives on Whidbey Island and was raised on a farm in Eastern Washington. She's a graduate of the Washington State University Edward R. Murrow School of Communications. That's a mouthful of a thing. So we're really excited to have Sherrye. Sherrye and I work really closely together on a lot of tourism initiatives, and we have some really exciting new developments to announce and talk to everybody about.
Yeah, we do. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I just want to say, leave it on that slide for a minute because there are a few things to say.
You can click.
Oh,
I know. More technology. Or I can click for
the little arrow.
Yep. Sure. If it doesn't work, I'll advance it.
All right. Okay. So just we got to talk about COVID for a second. Then we won't for very long. But the last couple of years, I just want to say how proud you should be of Jessica and the leadership she showed the whole county, and her courage and creativity. And she's like working herself to death. These chamber directors throughout the county really were on top of it. In the Economic Development Council, we met every Monday for an hour and a half in a recovery task force to try to come up with ideas for how to help other businesses and find funding to distribute and all the challenges we were all facing that were almost changing hourly at some times. So having said all that, I think it brought us a little closer and got us thinking a little more creatively. And it also changed a really big thing that we think about. So we thought of ourselves as a destination marketing organization. And Washington State has an organization called WSDMO. And the WSDMO are about 27 of these DMOs, destination marketing organizations, and we're one of them. But we've kind of shifted thinking to being a destination management organization. And that not just marketing tourism, we need to think differently about what we want tourism to look like. So that's where this comes in. And the next slide, we will start.
I'm gonna actually,
You're gonna do it for me? Oh,
yes, because it took over my mouse and now I can't get the chat now.
A lot of people came even when we suggested they stay away. So we learned that people will come here, and it's important for us to think through really what we want tourism to look like for residents that live here. And not only do we want people to come, but we want to be sure that they love us. And so we're starting this new plan working with the Transformational Travel Council. And it's a global organization based out of Seattle. And I went through a 14-week course, I felt like boot camp. And through that course, I learned that this might be something we should take all the way through our destination. So we pulled together some leaders who started the process. And there's a slide coming up that one will help show you some of the plans. Basically, what we're doing with the Transformational Travel Council in a nutshell is we're going to assess our destinations, impact and guide us through a regenerative journey, design transformative travel experiences for visitors, implement regenerative principles that make us thrive, and measure the degree of sustainability. I'm going to explain all these words in a minute because that's a mouthful. What happened is that destinations worldwide are now adopting sort of new norms, and they're adapting after this global pandemic. A lot of organizations and destinations discovered that maybe they weren't really doing things the right way. And it actually was a chance to kind of pause during the quiet time and think through this. And then it got busy again. It got busy so fast that it kind of unexpected how many people came. So we need to embrace sustainability, deepen our commitment to protect natural and cultural heritage. And there's a desire to balance the needs of nature, communities, and the economy. A couple slides in, that's okay. And the Whidbey-Camano Islands Tourism is committed to creating a new plan for the future. Big doings. We're reimagining our approach to tourism and how to measure success. And the transformational travel and regenerative tourism are catalysts for this evolution. I think I need to explain what those terms mean. Transformational travel, you'll start hearing a lot, Google it, you'll start seeing what are people talking about, and then regenerative tourism. So transformational travel is more, I think, on the visitor in terms of trying to have personal growth when they travel. It's about traveling with intention and being inspired and seeking life-changing experiences. And it's not just do this, eat there, sleep there. It's more like think about who am I going to be while I'm traveling, and what happens when I come home after the trip. And it's bigger than the past, how we used to travel. Regenerative tourism, I feel like, is more focused on the destination in terms of we want visitors that are going to revitalize, heal, renew, and improve the destination. So it's not just leave no trace, but it's actually come here and feel like when they left it better than they found it. And that's targeting a very specific kind of visitor. So more on transformational travel, just to kind of drill it home. I have about 4 slides. It's intentionally traveling to stretch, learn, and grow into new ways of being and engaging with the world. That's a definition by the Transformational Travel Council. Travel can inspire change. It can be transformative, but travelers themselves must create the transformation, because transformation actually takes place at the point of uncomfortableness. It's sort of putting yourself out there. It's standing on the deck at Canopy Tours and making that, even you're nervous, but you make that first go, or you're standing before art and you're really understanding what you're seeing and feeling it, and not just, I'm going to do 7 studios in 7 hours, you know, that kind of thinking, like I got to get them all. This is more like I'm going to do as many as I can that I will feel inspired and that I, you know, really felt like something happened to me. So travelers need to be an active part of not just the experience, but of the outcomes. And travel may be used intentionally as a force for good in the world. This is the opposite of what we were hearing. I actually, just on a sidebar, during the times of the busyness, I was getting, you know, Instagram messaging, Facebook messaging. Oh my God, you know, there's so many people on this trail. This ferry line is so long. It was really, people were very upset that they were being loved to death. You know, that wasn't being respected. People were just wanted to get out of Seattle and just needed to get somewhere. And maybe it was the first time they had experienced a state park. And so we're shifting our thinking about how to communicate more efficiently to people about what they might find. So regenerative tourism, I'm going to describe next, because, and I've got the cutting edge thing on there. That's intentional to show that it's more cutting edge, and it defines success as not as net benefit, added value, not volume. So it's not anti-growth, but it simply asks that we grow the things that matter the most to us in ways that benefit the entire system and never at the expense of others. Ooh, Anna Pollock is someone I want you to write down if you have a chance. I mean, you will receive all these slides, I believe. Yep. So she has a PDF. She's going to make sure that's available to you. But she's really inspiring, and she has a lot of podcasts. She's been talking about this for over 10 years, well before the pandemic, and became very popular once everyone else started going, oh, maybe we should be thinking about this. So she's been working in Mexico, in Majorca. Islands specifically are pretty vulnerable. So islands seem to be part of the taking the lead. And so the islands of Hawaii are really take a look at, I want you to write this down too, that Destination Management Action Plan, and go to Hawaii and see what they've done. So they have a lot of money to work with, but we have a lot of energy and I think enthusiasm to come up with our own Destination Management Action Plan. And when you see what they're doing, it'll help this become clear, because first you have to explain the situation, then we have to take ourselves through a process where we really think differently, which means a paradigm shift, which isn't the same as just, let's all get in a room and write a plan. It's actually taking the time to think through this more. So more on regenerative tourism real quick. It's not a sector, it's a dynamic. It's not about incremental improvements. It's about real system changes to a new approach. It's the idea that tourism leaves the place better than it was before. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but it'll help as you go through this. And sustainability, which a lot of people talked about before, in comparison, is about leaving something kind of as it was and not causing any additional damage, but it's just sort of leaving it with. Regenerative is deeper. And if you know about regenerative agriculture, then you understand it's more about no-till. It's about replacing nutrients into the earth. It's farming that benefits the land and actually can lead to climate change reversal. So we're onto something kind of big here. Continuing with our definition, it's creating conditions for life to continuously renew itself, just like I said with the land, to transcend into new forms and to flourish amid ever-changing life conditions, so that if another pandemic comes, we won't be quite thrown off so much, because we won't be quite so dependent on the old ways of thinking. It's a holistic approach to the well-being of the entire ecosystem. Okay, now, I'm just getting to what we're doing. So we have developed a group of us who are starting the process. Mona and Jessica are involved in this, and it's a deep dive personally first into our own values as well as the values of our own community. And success is going to look like unification and a new strategic action plan. In unification, I'll go ahead and read this. Stakeholders are unified through a regenerative tourism process in our approach to sustainable destination management, development, and marketing. The strategic action plan will be the development of a living action plan to guide implementation through an inclusive, stakeholder-driven process. So you are going to have an opportunity to participate in a couple different ways. There will be some of those meetings in the room. There's also going to be some surveys, and not just one really long one that takes 2.5 hours, but I think we're going to do some short ones that will hold your attention for 10, 15 minutes on a certain topic. I've been approached several times about affordable housing and the effect tourism has on that. What is the negative impact, or is there one? Or is it just that we keep saying it? Let's find out what really is the impact of the Airbnbs, right, and the VRBOs and all of these things that are going off of rental market. But were they really rental markets? I mean, I think we have a conversation we need to have with people who really understand what the situation is and what are the answers to that. Can we solve them? Probably not, but we can at least address it. It's just one of those light topics, right? But over loving trails, comes up a lot, and we need to direct people to places that are lesser known. And I'm interested in what you have to offer with the historical mark, and the pieces of history of Camano that maybe haven't been told. That would be really part of this process. So then we have Train the Trainer, which is we're going to be creating a network of people who want to participate in this, that are going to be willing to talk to others, because the three of us can't do the whole island. So we're going to find out, maybe it'll be this army in this room that will all become regenerators and want to be involved in the process. Through that, we're going to create meaningful travel. We're going to deeper connection, expanding meaning. We're going to be working together. In fact, we were just talking about, creating maybe 3 itineraries that are Stanwood Camano, and promote them through Island County tourism, through our networks. It's a paradigm shift to think beyond the borders. It's not about county. We don't think visitors see county lines the way we do, right? And so more collaboration with our partners around us, and less fear of losing because of that. But it's sort of like we're building the pie, instead of, having a smaller piece, it's a bigger pie. I always like that one because it's about pie. But one more of what success looks like, and then I'm going to wrap it up pretty fast here. We're involved in what's called the early adopter program. There's only 2. This is the scary part. Either we're brilliant or we're nuts, because there's only 2 organizations in the country that have stepped into this and embracing it. We're really early in this process. Willamette Valley, Oregon is the first one. And I think we're brilliant. I think we're at the cutting edge of something you're going to see a lot more of. It's less about money and making more money. It's about thinking about long-term. People live here. People love this place. We want people to love this place. We want to share this place. But then we want to make sure we're understanding it. A license agreement means that we're going to have access to educational content and resources that you'll be able to access and go online and do some of the classes that we're doing right now. Those are tough. I mean, they're deep dive into how you think about, diversity and equity, and, challenging yourself to be uncomfortable. And it's really good experience for us. But what are we doing right now? Anyway, we couldn't wait for this to be done, because I think this is going to take a year. It may take longer. In the meantime, we're still doing all the things we were doing. We're doing a little less advertising, I will be honest, less print advertising, because of the amount of resources and effort it takes. And plus our messaging may be different. So we didn't want to keep saying the same old things. So we pulled back a little bit on the advertising. That's another risk. But in the meantime, we heard from visitor centers on both islands that people wanted to get to trails, but they kept being sent to the same ones. So for example, on Whidbey Island, they were continually sent to Deception Pass and to Eby's Bluff, which are really well-loved trails. And it became, this is where I got the late night Facebook messaging and stuff. It's like, look at the picture of this parking lot. What are you doing about it? Sort of quit sending people here. So what we decided to do as a group, we sat down and came up with a guide. It's actually 24 trails off the beaten path in Island County. The ones in Camano, so you're aware, are Barnum Point, English Boom, Camano Ridge, Cranberry Lake, Elger Bay Preserve, Four Springs, and Iverson Spit. Those are the ones that were chosen. So it's not as much on the state parks. Yep.
And on Camano, or excuse me, on Whidbey, there are some that are actually brand new that the Whidbey-Camano Land Trust has just
saved, shall we say, preserved. So we work really closely with Soundwater Stewards and the Whidbey-Camano Land Trust. And so there's new partners for us that we're shifting our thinking. Instead of just working with marketing, we're working with really land management organizations that have a countywide effort, and the Economic Development Council has been involved with us. So the next thing we also did, we just decided at the last tourism meeting to go ahead and dive in with the state of Washington Tourism as a partnership on something called Treadmap App. It's a one-stop comprehensive recreation mapping app. It's free, up-to-date conditions, safety info, community events, and volunteer opportunities. And it's going to be exciting. We are early adopters again.
The theme there.
But there's a theme there. But the good news is we already did these trails. So we're like kind of tailor ready to get those all loaded. We're working with our own land managers in the islands. And I forgot to mention that Alana from Cama Beach and Jessica both sit on the tourism committee too.
Alana replaced Deb Bell. For those of you, Deb Bell retired and Alana's her.
Yeah. So the Treadmap is going to, it's going to launch the same time as our map, as our guide, which is Memorial Day weekend. So we're right on track for that. And what I was going to say about that really quick, there's opportunities for nonprofits to be featured and for donations to be made through the Treadmap app. So we're going to be identifying who those nonprofits are, and then also businesses that already actually have, like in their DNA, they really get, like maybe they have a work day, all their employees go work on a trail, or they contribute a certain percentage of their brewery to trails in Leavenworth from Icicle Ridge Brewery, for example. We're going to be identifying those businesses. And if you aren't doing that and you'd like to be one of those businesses, there'll be ways for you to participate and figure out what you can do. So it won't be greenwashing. We can't just pretend, it have to be real differences. But
and it's a significant investment.
This is $30,000 for us to invest from our budget. And it's a one-time investment, but there's several reasons why we want to do it. Partly Washington State Tourism has just rebranded themselves completely and has new funding and new direction. And we want it to be at the beginning. I love it how Jessica said it. I don't like being late to a party. Because I said, we could wait. And I remember you came across, that was your line. It was like, I hate being late. Let's be at the beginning. Let's be leaders.
Not that I'm competitive, but yeah.
So we're in. And we're one of the, we're a smaller DMO versus say Bellingham or the Wenatchee or Spokane or Seattle, but that's okay. I think this strengthens the app really when it has genuine, authentic places like the islands. Okay, almost done. Experience Washington. Okay, they used to be called Experience Washington. It was a Washington Tourism Alliance for years. It was the rebirth. Now we have completely a new brand, and it's called State of Washington Tourism. Check out their website. There's a lot of new information. It fits in perfectly with all the things I just talked about. It's so perfectly aligned with us that it's really exciting. And I'm just going to share with you really quick some dates to put down, because there's a state tourism summit that's on the 12th of October, and that'll be in Seattle. And it'd be great if a whole group of Camino people were there. And also the day before that, if you're interested in working with the cruise ship industry, pre and post excursions overnight, not just day trip, but overnight, really more. I mean, it could be a day trip, but it's, again, we have to think about, is that a love them and leave them kind of thinking in the middle of summer when you're already busy. So does cruise ships line up? I think it could. But that's the day before. And then the day after is an outdoor recreation expo. So it's 3 full days in Seattle. And that'll be something to put on your calendar now. And you'll hear more about it. Jessica will send out information. But I just also want to share, I'm going to close, is that at our next meeting, which is on Whidbey at Camp Casey on the 5th, it's during National Travel and Tourism Week. So we're going to have the executive director of the state of Washington Tourism as our lunch guest. And he's going to roll out the brand, talk about opportunities for us to participate more closely working with them. We're already partners with Tread. I think there's going to be some other things we're going to get to do with them. And if you can come, and I don't know if we'll have an owl set up by then. I don't think so.
I don't know if Camp Casey's internet is that great, but we can talk around it.
Yeah, but maybe we'll, maybe there's a way to videotape it or something. I don't know. But If not, if you can make it, come on
What
over.
time the meeting is?
11 o'clock. 11 to 1, and there'll be a lunch and it's $15. And there's registration on our website. So if you were to go Whidbey-Camano and put in the search transformational travel for one thing, do that, and then you'll be led to a whole set of pages that we've built on that's explaining all the things I was talking about. And that's kind of helpful. It has a lot of links to reading and different podcasts and things. But also if you were to go and do that whole search again and you put in like the Camano Tourism Committee, Whidbey-Camano Tourism Committee, or David Blandford, because he's the speaker, all that will lead you to this where you can register, or you can just email info@whidbeycamanoislands.com, or you can just ask Jessica, how do I get to that meeting? Because we are trying to kind of build a mailing list to people that are interested. Okay, that is it for me.
Thank you, Sherry.
That
Any
was-
questions for Sherry? That's a lot of it. And again, I'll email out all the slides. But are there any specific questions? It's a lot that's being undertaken at once.
Somebody bravo.
Yeah. Carol.
The itineraries that you're looking at, are you wanting to direct people to these other trails? Are you looking for like some experiential type
Yes.
things on the, okay.
Yeah, I think we need to work harder
Yeah.
at digging deeper. And, wellness, is
Yoga?
yeah, yoga, zipping, painting, ukulele,
Music.
We've promoted crabbing, we've promoted some things that are great, but I don't know if that's all there is to us. There's more to us than that, I think. And people are looking for something different too, that's deeper for me. Yes.
I'm sure this is a common question, but to address it, if you're sending people through the app and such to the smaller, less known hiking trails, which those of us that go on them love that they're unknown.
Yeah, I know.
and pristine. What are you doing to address that through the app, et cetera, so that it is well cared for and not that we don't become that Facebook message?
Right. There's a lot of messaging about recreating responsibly and leave no trace. Those are new partners of ours too. So hopefully that kind of education will help. Just trail etiquette. It's in the guide, and the Treadmap will be good because it's going to have not warning messages, but it'll have, and not lectures, but more like, hey, be mindful. This is private property to your left, or there's a tree down, or even things like smoke issues from fires. It gives warnings about that. So it's pretty, we have a lot of hope that it's as up to the minute as they hope it to be.
Well, it's user driven, right? A lot of the information. So we're going to have to get it out there for people to update.
Yeah, they themselves will say, this is not a good day to come, or we just had a great experience. Try this trail. So we'll do our best.
Parking in Barnum, it's been pretty limited. Is there any expansion under?
I have not heard anything from the county, but I can certainly ask. I do know that there was a big break-in over there with 15 cars recently.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I can ask the county.
Does it try to have a geo, I don't know the right term, but, you can say, well, there's 50 cars already at Barnum.
Yes.
Real time.
Yes.
information. Okay.
Yeah.
That can help with that.
Yeah. And then it also is a way to offset your carbon footprint as you travel, or if you want to donate to some of these trails organizations, it's kind of neat that that's going to be in there, because that's how it's funding. It's not, it's a nonprofit. So they want to raise money that can be contributed back to these communities. So that's another reason why we got in early. So anything else?
I'm assuming the Friends of Camano Parks is on board with all of that.
Yeah, we didn't do much in the state parks, actually. So they're included a little bit in the guide itself, but we didn't include a lot
But
of their
that's
trails.
FOSIP with Tom. So they have been in touch with FOSIP and Tom to make sure that they know, because I think that they work together with some maps and stuff like that. Any other questions for Sherry? All right, thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
I will say that from the chamber's perspective, a lot of this work that we're doing we are using some of this framework for, we're working on our strategic plan, our next 5-year strategic plan, which we started during COVID and then couldn't meet again. And it's not the kind of thing you can work on if you're not meeting in person. So we're taking a lot of this that we're learning, and Mona's going through the process too, and putting it into, or plan to apply it to our strategic plan, so that again, the Chamber's strategic plan isn't just bullet points, it's actually has some thought and can mirror what Whidbey-Camano Island Tourism is doing at the same time. And a quick example of that is, after Glass Quest, we used to have Beer Brats Biz, and then we renamed it to Biz Bites, Beats, something. And then we didn't have it because it was COVID. And so, the question was, do we have an event this summer? Does the Chamber need to have an event? And the answer is that the board decided to support the events that are already happening, right? We really don't, to be responsible people, we don't need more traffic on Camino right now in the summer, but the Chamber can support the events that are currently going on through our sponsorship and everything else. So that's kind of
I think we lost them.
I would agree. You guys are frozen too?
The Zooms are still here.
Yeah. I'm gonna maybe text Susan and let her know. Because Jessica's busy. There she is. We all might need to go in again, but I'm sending a text right now, so we'll see what happens.
It looks like they're working. I can see the action on the side view here.
You can? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
She's moving, and still have a sound for her.
I think I'm gonna log out and log in.
never thought to ever visit Stanwood and Camano. I don't have any family here. I wasn't familiar with the amenities. I'm not familiar with any of the businesses here as well. So I decided to make a trip up to see what the community was like. And when I did a quick Google search, one of the first things that popped up were obviously the state parks on Camano Island. So when I made the trip, the first thing I did was drive straight through Stanwood, all the way through Camano, and went straight to the parks. I didn't stop to look at any of the businesses or any of the local offerings that Stanwood and Camano had to have. So after enjoying my time at the parks, of course, I wanted to see more of the community. So not sure what to do next. I eventually found a place to eat in Stanwood, and I explored some of the parks in Stanwood as well. And from the reason I'm sharing my story and from talking with other visitors that aren't familiar with our community, I feel like this is not an uncommon experience. So for somebody that's unfamiliar with Stanwood or Camano, the special events we have, our businesses or our local amenities, I believe the average visitor needs additional guidance on places to go, things to do, and experiences to have. So how do we get visitors to stay longer, eat, play, shop, check out all the local amenities in our community, and how do we encourage them to come back and enjoy more? And this is where Discover Stanwood Camano comes in. When we are searching for things to do in our community, we want visitors to utilize this tool to give them a better visitor experience. So a little bit of background information about Discover Stanwood Camano. This is a tourism and market initiative from the City of Stanwood. It provides, our goal is to promote Stanwood and Camano as an attractive tourism and travel destination. And the website itself informs potential visitors about anything and everything Stanwood Camano. And it also serves as an online directory to promote all of our various businesses and organizations and their special events in our community. Next slide. And I wanted to show some examples of the features of our website. So one of our features on Discover Stanwood Camano is our places. And this is essentially your business listing or your organization's listing. I don't know if you can see very well, but on this screenshot, there's a map of Stanwood and Camano and all of the different businesses and organizations that have registered and share their information. As a visitor, if I'm looking for a restaurant, if I'm looking for a special event, if I'm looking for an amenity, I can search through this filter guide and kind of see what I'm looking for. On the next slide, I have an example of an existing placing listing. This is Sale Brewing Company in Stanwood. And on the listing itself, you can provide various information. You can include a business description, a gallery to showcase your different products or amenities, everything from your business hours, your phone number, contact information, directions to get to your business. And then one of the important things I think on the places listings is visitors can actually contact your business directly from this listing. So they're not contacting me, they're not contacting the city. They will have your email and phone number to either shoot you an email, hey, I want to learn more about what's going on, or maybe they have questions about your business hours. Another element of Discover Stanwood Camano are our events. So similar to our places listings, we have a events listing where you can actually share any special events, promotions that your organization or business is having. Can you go to the next slide, Jessica? So here's another example. So here are some of our upcoming events you can see on the side. We have the Mother's Day Arts Festival on Camano. We have the Spring Festival at Arrowhead Ranch. And there's also various different filters that a visitor can utilize to find your event. On the next slide, here's an example of the Spring Festival at Arrowhead Ranch. Very similar to the places, you can input all of your descriptions on the event, where your event is, how to get a hold of somebody if they have questions about your event, a countdown to get them excited about your event. But I think one of the most important features on the event listing is the fact that it links back to your business. So if I'm a visitor and I'm not familiar with your organization, but I somehow heard about your event or heard about what's going on, I can say, hey, I heard about the Spring Festival. I want to learn more about the Arrowhead Ranch. So they're interconnected so that they're not just seeing one aspect of your organization or business. Included screenshots on how to get registered. You obviously can't see the instructions there, but it's very, very easy. I think if I went through the tutorial myself when I first learned how to use a website, it takes anywhere from 5 minutes or less. The great thing about Discover Stanwood Camano, this was a rebranded website, I believe, done in 2020 or so, Jessica. So there was a previous website that was utilized. So a lot of old data was carried over into this new website. So your business or organization may already have a page on this website and you might have not claimed it already. So as soon as you see your organization, or maybe you don't have a listing yet, you can either create a brand new one or you can claim it and make all the updates to your page as needed. And I can provide this walkthrough in a separate email with all of the instructions on how to claim it, but it's very easy, very quick. And this is at no cost to all of our businesses and organizations in Stanwood. So you can update and maintain your page as often as you'd like. So it's really a free tool that I encourage all of our businesses and organizations to take advantage of.
Even Camano.
Yes,
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're in Stanwood or Camano. And I'm going to use the word community because, it's a little confusing. So we're the greater community of Stanwood and Camano. So I don't see the county lines. Yes, I work for the city of Stanwood, but my job is to support the community as a whole. Next slide, please, Jessica. I think there's 2 more slides. Yeah, perfect. Another aspect of Discover Stanwood Camano is our social media. Social media is a great tool, an additional free tool that businesses can take advantage of and share their story. So we have our Discover Stanwood Camano Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And these are some recent stories that we shared. One was the Rockaway Grill and one was the Camano Commons Marketplace. So I always say that our businesses and organizations in our community, you guys are my content. You guys are my story. I don't need to create a new story when I already have all of this information to share. So we ask that anytime you'd like something promoted, that you use our tag or our hashtag. And I'm on Facebook scrolling 24/7 looking for the next story to share. So anything that you think would be great to share with a potential visitor or just a community as a whole, please share that with us. Now, gearing a little bit off of Discover Stanwood Camano, another element that the city has is our tourism promotion grant. So for those that may not be familiar with this grant, it's a grant that's funded through the City of Stanwood, and we focus on special events and activities that demonstrate the ability to attract visitors to our community. And these grant dollars can be utilized for advertising efforts and marketing efforts to promote your event. And we have 2 different categories that you can qualify for. $1,000 for events with a minimum of 250 visitors and up to $2,000 for events with over 4,000 visitors. I took a picture of a family participating in Glass Quest. Glass Quest is one of our poster child for this grant. They do everything and more. The only thing that we ask for with this grant is some visitor data. So with Glass Quest, they track through their registration on where are these visitors coming from, how did they hear about our community, how long did they stay. So that information is very useful to continue to promote this grant and to promote our community as a whole. And I wanted to go a little bit into some details about who our visitors are. And these are actually findings from a recent Snohomish County visitor survey. And although Camano is not Snohomish County, I see that our communities are very similar. So I don't care that this is the county's findings, but I think it can be very applicable to Camano and Stanwood as a whole. So the typical visitor is coming for a day trip, which means they can drive to their destination. They're typically an infrequent traveler, which means they're either coming for a special event or some sort of one-off reason. They're looking for things to do, looking for adventure, and they're often planning their trip ahead of time using different digital resources. Yes.
Are you saying this is data from all of Snohomish County?
Yes.
So this is not even Stanwood Camano.
This is for Snohomish County, and then there were specific aspects of the survey where they focused more on like rural communities and going into deeper dives. But I picked the ones that I think are very applicable to Stanwood and Camano and seeing how we can use that in part of our tourism initiatives. Next slide, please. The typical visitor also recognizes that we already have excellent local amenities, such as nature, restaurants, shopping. So essentially, we want to make sure that these visitors know what these amenities are in our community. When asked, the visitors also had a very positive association with their travel experience, using words such as beautiful, scenic, and relaxing. So in my opinion, we don't have to change the narrative of our community, but continue to promote and share the positive experiences and stories that visitors already have. In addition, one of the most important things that visitors want to see more of in this study was events and festivals. When I first came to Stanwood and looked up all of the events that were in Stanwood and Camano, I was surprised at how many events this size community had. I'm from Federal Way, which is a community of 100,000. And I don't think we had maybe even half of the events that you guys offer. So I was like, where are these events coming from? So I think we've already met that mark. And our goal is to help those events grow. Just like Jessica mentioned, we don't need to be putting on more events. I think we already have the events that have been proven to be successful and have a draw to our community. So our goal is to help grow and promote those events. I also wanted to address the county's tourism website as well. So Snohomish County has Seattle North Country. This is a screenshot of their homepage. And Stanwood is part of the Salish Sea coastal communities that kind of break it down into these 4 categories. And we do have a profile on this website as well. And although Camano is not part of Snohomish County, we do recognize that this is a joint community. So we do point out Camano on our profile landing page as well. In addition, Seattle North Country is working on microsites for all of the communities. So they've done, I believe, Darrington and 2 other communities so far. And Stanwood is on track, I believe, for this year or next year to have a microsite through Seattle North Country. And all of that can be linked back to the city, to Discover Stanwood Camano. So this is just another resource that the county is offering that we're taking advantage of. Next slide, please. So I said my spiel, so what can you do? So what I want from the chambers, from the businesses, from the organizations is to share your story through Discover Stanwood Camano. You can create your places and events or claim them through the website. You can share on social media so we can share your stories. And we believe that the more organizations that are participating in Discover Stanwood Camano, the greater the value it provides for local businesses and organizations. Making a better visitor experience is a benefit for everyone. Yes, we want the visitors to enjoy their time here and have a good experience, but by telling them about the local great offerings that we have through our businesses and our organizations and our special events, that's going to bring a benefit back to you, the community. So my goal is to do both at the same time. If anyone would like a walkthrough, a tutorial, a one-on-one on how to get your information on DSC, or maybe you want to see some of the other projects that we're working on. We have a lot of things in Stanwood specifically. We have our downtown revitalization project currently happening, which goes hand in hand with promoting tourism. We have our photography project going on with Discover Stanwood Camano as well. So we have a lot of things moving and happening, and we can provide more information on that. But I am more than happy to meet with any businesses or organizations that would like to learn more. So I have my contact information, and I do have my business cards as well if anyone would like more information.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And everyone's going to get these slides as well. So questions, Sam.
You had mentioned that you're reaching out through social media.
Yes.
And you're on Facebook 24/7.
Yes.
I'm finding that for my kids, they're not on Facebook. So I was wondering if we're also reaching out to the other platforms like they're on, like Twitch or Discord or TikTok or whatever it is, that we want to with that generation.
If I had a team of more than me, I would definitely put more efforts into those avenues. As of right now, we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I think that's a conversation that the city can potentially look at. Like Jessica mentioned, Discover Stanwood Camano is only one of my titles. So trying to see where we can allocate, the budget dollars, my time, but that is definitely something that we've been considering. And I think if we see the value in that, of getting that further reach, that can be a question that goes back to the city to help kind of increase our budget, get more staff, and get that going.
Do we need budget? Do we, for example, can we reach out to the high school and just see if there's some kids there that want to just be active?
Yeah, that's another great thing, working with our organizations that already exist and may not necessarily need a budget increase is, hey, do you want to work with the city and do a cool TikTok or a cool Snapchat? That could be a conversation that we have with the city. Yep. Yeah, I spoke with the teacher who's in charge of FBLA. I think there's a lot of resources that haven't been utilized yet with some of these local organizations. So making those connections and seeing if they're interested in participating.
We post events on our page.
Yes.
Do we need to interface with you to get that into the social media thread, like Discover Stanwood Camano, or are you picking that stuff up automatically through your program?
So as soon as you submit a place or an event listing, I automatically get a notification to do a quick review and get it approved. I typically try to turn it around in less than 24 hours. And then as far as social media goes, I'm looking for those tags and hashtags. But if I know your event is on our website, I'm already going to be looking on social media regardless of whether you tag us. So I do encourage to use the tags, but a lot of the stuff I'm sharing right now, I'm actively searching and looking for. So creating that pattern of using our tags so that it automatically pops up, but I'm looking for anything and everything.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Stanwood specific, but back to your comments about transformation and those kinds of things. And you may not know the answer to these. So everywhere I go this last 2 weeks, it's who's bought Twin City Foods and what's going to happen. And then the other question I have is, I know there's been talk about the Brick Street on the west end.
Yes.
And I haven't heard anything from it staying the same to we're going to pay over top of it. Today's version was they're going to take the bricks out and then put them back somehow decoratively. Can you speak to either of those?
Yes, so I can't speak for Twin Cities. I've been trying to get more information through my contacts, but I don't have any facts to speak on that yet. As far as the Brick Road in West Downtown, Tracy's actually on our Twin City Mile Steering Committee, and we're dubbing the Downtown Revitalization Project as a Twin City Mile. From City Hall Park End to the East End Park End, that's literally a mile. So that's what our project is called. At the end of this year, I believe in the fall, the city is hoping to get to 10% design plans for this mile. And specifically looking at West Downtown, we have no exact design plans yet, but when we had conversations with our steering committee, obviously the businesses and organizations in West Downtown want to preserve the identity of the brick road. And I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what that means with keeping the bricks, but one of the design concepts that our architect proposed was maybe if we even can't reuse the same bricks, there's some sort of brick element throughout West Downtown and throughout the whole mile. So obviously not the entire road as bricks, but maybe some little at intersections and at different medians, we could have brick elements. And like I said, I don't know the exact design plans, but that is one of the most important things we've been hearing in West Downtown. So we definitely want to work with the businesses and organizations to make sure that the roads are safe, but also keep their identity, but also make it a nice driving experience and a walking experience for the pedestrians. Tracy?
One thing I heard you say was that we have enough events we're just going to support, right, both from Jessica and you support what we do have. My main concern, again, specific to Stanwood, is that the two biggest events that we have had in the past prior to COVID are now no longer happening. And so to hear you say that we're not going to try to get any new events, in my opinion, that's where most of the tourism was coming from during the summer months, was these two big art events, which we no longer have. So is anything being done to get that regoing again?
So I'm assuming one of them you're referring to as Summer Arts Jam, and then what was the second event?
Art by the Bay.
Art by the Bay. So I can't speak for Art by the Bay, but I know for Summer Arts Jam, the Stanwood Chamber were trying to do it this year and the previous year, and unfortunately they couldn't do it either years. The city is exploring some of these events that have kind of been put behind and left behind during COVID. So whether it's the art events, whether it's the Snow Goose Festival, and I think that comes down to if the community is demanding that these events get revitalized and be put on, either an organization such as the chambers or the historical societies would have to be willing to, I think, to collaborate. These events are very big events and people think, oh, we'll just take it on. It's not those kind of events. These are events that draw in thousands of people to our community. But I think that's a conversation that we're having. I already have a meeting scheduled with our city staff talking about not Summer Arts Jam, but like the Snow Goose Festival. What's the direction with that event for the future? So it's definitely on our radar. And if I had a team of event planners, I would pick up all the events, but it's just me. So, there in any way the city can help and support these events, whether it's bringing them back or supporting the ones that we have. We are all pro event. So whether it's a new event and existing or one that we're trying to revitalize, I think we're all support for it.
So as a business owner or community supporters, how do we get our voice heard at the city to get a budget or an event team or somehow notice what an impact, negative impact this is having on
Yeah.
our business community?
So of course, the general answer is talk to your city council. Go to your city council, tell them, we've lost these 2 great events or 3 great events in Stanwood, and this is the impact that it's having in our business community. Can we increase our tourism budget? Can we increase our special events budget? Because I'm already working with what I have to, support DSC, to support, the businesses. So if the city council continues to hear these same comments from the business community, they will have to take action. So we can see that with the budget planning for 2023 and 2024. So I think right now is a great time to get those comments in because we're going to start budget planning very soon.
Okay, thank you.
There is a question from Milt. Is there a hotel on the horizon? Famous question.
No hotel currently. I know there were a lot of talks with, doing hotel studies and motel studies. And unfortunately, I don't believe there's been any updates since I've joined the city. Like we mentioned, Camano and Stanwood heavily relies on the Airbnbs and the VRBOs. So I think with what we currently have, another goal for like DSC is how do we highlight those amenities? We do have some on DSC, but I don't know if visitors are finding them accessible or not. But we would love to have a hotel in Stanwood, I think. I personally would, but unfortunately, no updates currently.
Okay. And Sharon asked if you can talk about the photography initiative you mentioned.
Yes. So we got grant dollars from the Snohomish County LTAC. And part of those grant dollars are going to be utilized for a photography project through the city. We are partnering with Stanwood Camano Arts Advocacy Commission, which is SCAC for short. We have an MOU with SCAC to do all of our art programming through the city. So with this grant, we are actually going to do a call for art very soon for artists within Stanwood and Camanos within the school district boundaries to give us artwork for some of the things we would like to promote through DSC, through city initiatives, and through the county as well. So we'll be looking for artwork, whether it's from special events, maybe it's just a great photo of Stanwood and Camano at sunset. We really want to beef up our media library. And so we're going to be launching that hopefully within the next month or so. And then I can send that to Jessica when we do put out the call for art with SCAC.
Great. Yeah. Any other questions for Sarah? All right. Lots of stuff happening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that was a lot. So thank you, everybody. And I will be sending out the recording. I do have a couple announcements, and then it's the piece of paper somewhere, which is kind of funny because I just said we're not doing any events, and guess what? I came up with a new event last night. Thank you. So May 1st, thank you. There's a lot of people. May 1st through the 7th is Small Business Week, I believe. And so we had great success with our Shop Local, Win Local that we did in lieu of Chili Chowder last year in November. So we are going to do a spring version of Shop Local, Win Local, which is a selfie version. So this is not really an event, which is why it's a digital event. So from April 30th until May 9th. So it's going to span the weekends, which is also Mother's Day, which is also the art tours going on. We're just going to encourage people to take selfies of shopping local. Take a selfie of getting a coffee locally, take a selfie of buying flowers locally, or booking a contractor, or getting a facial, or anybody in the Stanwood Camano area. We just want to flood social media with selfies, and they will tag the chamber, and they will also tag the business that they're taking the photo with. And then we will draw 3 winners for basket prizes. So be on the lookout for that. It literally kind of happened in the last 24 hours, and April 30th is what, next week. So we're going to give it a whirl. I mean, really, I don't think it can hurt, right? But we do need donations for the gift basket. So if you want to donate something to the gift basket, you can just put your name and email and phone number on there. It can be a coffee gift card. It can be something from your business with your logo on it. It can be anything. And we're just going to put together 3 different baskets, but we'd appreciate donations just to get that launched. Any questions? Shop Local, Win Local spring version? Yes.
What hashtags? Or
stay tuned. Probably Shop Local, Win Local selfie version is kind of what we're calling it. But yeah, I got to think through those. I haven't even really thought through like what else we're asking people to do and how to draw those names. But we're starting with getting the gift baskets. And then I'll probably print little flyers and distribute them around, telling people to take their selfies with the hashtags once I have them figured out. Any other questions about that? Okay, Kristen.
Oh, yes, Kristen with Century Milestone Camano Climb event again. And I just wanted to say, Sail Brewing is our partner this year. The ride will be finishing there. We're really excited about it being a great partner. If you're, we always have information out for riders, participants who many come from Seattle, but also people from Bellingham in Canada. If you have information about your business, we'd love to have it at our start at Stanwood Middle School or at Sail Brewing. Physically, people typically take a picture now on their phone or whatever they have. They don't need a lot of pieces of paper, but one or two will be good. So on Sunday, this Sunday, if you live on Camano or plan to be on Camano, there will be hopefully a lot of bike riders, so be drive friendly. And then we ask our riders to ride friendly. They should be following the rules of the road. And there are some flyers around, so feel free to take one. People can still register through Saturday at noon. Thank you.
Thank you. American Legion. You guys want to announce your, Marilyn?
Well,
sorry.
I just wanted to say something that the American Legion in Stanwood has prime rib dinners the second Saturday of the month, except for July and August. And they start serving at 4. The lines start about 3:15 or 3:30 outside the door, and they serve until the prime rib is gone. They've been having great turnouts.
Good.
Yeah,
that's great. Mona.
So we are at Canopy Tours Northwest hiring guides right now. They just need to be 18 years old, and we do all the training, so there's no specific experience needed, and it's a really fun job out in the woods, sipping, leading wonderful people through the tour. So if you know anyone, please just send them our way. We take contact info, resumes at jobs@canopytoursnw.com.
Is there any age maximum?
I was thinking no. Just be willing to fly through the trees, right? Myra.
Oh, just back to the opening of our Stanwood office. To clarify, Camano Island branch is here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So you see Stanwood from the base every day. And then the 23rd through the 27th, we'll have kind of fun events. So watch social media for things that are happening at the branch that we love, drawings and fun stuff like that. And then putting on another hat, I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Spring Festival that actually Sarah mentioned over at Arrowhead Branch, May 7th. 10 to 5. If you're interested in helping out or coming to hear Linda play music.
Great. I'm going to pause with this. There was a question, Lori, on Zoom about when the tourism promotion grants happen. I think that's to Sarah, right, Lori?
Yeah. So the tourism promotion grants are year long. We have a budget for the year. Currently, it's first come, first serve. So even if your event is in the later part of the year, you could apply January 1st if you'd like. We do take the applications and present them to the Economic Development Board, and they do a review. We haven't had any issues with having to deny anybody, but if for some years we got like 20 applications and they all wanted the funding, that's when we would have to go through criteria and see who we could give the fundings to. But I always recommend getting the grants in sooner rather than later. Jessica gets it in like the previous year for the next year. So
okay, Carol.
Yeah, so I've got our pop-up yoga scheduled for the summer. We'll be on the green at Camano Commons on Fridays, 12 to 1, and once a month, May, June, July, August, September. The dates are on our website, movamentarts.com/events. The first one is going to be the Friday of Memorial Day weekend, so May 27th is the first one. So the weather permitting. We'll be on our mats, and it's a free event. We just asked for a donation for the food bank, and it's just been a lot of fun the last couple of years. So we just hope to kind of build that momentum and get lots of people out there in the grass.
Great.
Can you repeat the date?
May 27th is the first one.
Jennifer.
I just want to let everybody know that Best of Stanwood 2022 is live as of yesterday. You can go on to snohomish.com and nominate your favorite businesses. That's gonna go on, April 20th to the 30th is your nomination period. And then we're gonna have voting, it's gonna be May 1st through May 15th.
Great.
We have some flyers if you're interested, and Derek's here, like Stanwood office, so. you guys go for that.
Perfect. And I just shared that on our Facebook page yesterday. So
Thank you.
it's out there. Great.
Yay.
So speaking of events, we did our first recording yesterday of the Welcome to Camano Island podcast, which is pretty exciting. So this came out of a brainstorming session that Marla Hegel and I had lunch last summer to talk about what does our community need, right? I mean, it's post-COVID, what do we need? We've got all these people moving here and we're all getting the same questions. I get phone calls every single day about, I don't understand what a septic system is, you know, and it's just, where can I go hiking? I mean, it's the same questions we're getting. So Brandon Erickson is one of the sponsors of the event or of the podcast with the Camano Voice. And so we did our introductory, why are we doing this podcast recording yesterday, which was really fun. And it's going to be housed on the chamber website. If you have ideas of other topics that you want to see on this podcast, our demographic really is new people to Camano. We don't want to, you know, Brandon's got the Camano Voice, which is our Camano stories of people, right? So they kind of mirror each other. But if you have ideas, there's going to be a landing page on the website where you can submit a form that you want to speak on something, or you have a topic that you would like to hear. I am going to do one coming up, and we're going to launch it when we get it done, but we're going to launch it soonish. And we're going to launch it with 3 episodes. So one of the episodes is going to be upcoming summer events. So if you have events, please let me know. Just send me an email. You can send me a link. You can send me a text, however you want to send me an event. You know, what it is, a graphic, because that way I can get it on our chamber calendar. I can put it in the podcast and I can share it on social media, right? So any events that go through, let's say August, just give us a shout and let us know. And speaking of, we've got, did anyone see our schedule through November? This is so much fun to do, finally. I'm like, I'm scheduling things. So our May meeting is going to be at the Camano Library, and that is from 11:30 to 1. And we are having Sharon Sappington from EDC, as well as the Snow Isle Library, talk about free business resources. So that's May. We will do the owl again, since it seems to be working, except for the fact it got mad once. But and then we transition to mixers. So in June, we're going to have a mixer at Taft at 5. In July, we are in that June mixer is with the Stanwood Chamber as well. In July, we are going to have a family fun day at the state park, at the Camano Island State Park, that building that's right by the boat launch. We've rented that building, and it's just going to be come, bring your family, bring your own picnic, dinner, bring boats, kayaks, whatever you want, and just kind of come and have fun. I'm excited about that one. We're not having a meeting in August because no one ever comes. Everyone's on vacation and everyone's busy. So instead, this summer, we are going to do some business videoing, and Tara from Visual Photography has offered to take photos of your business. So I got a gimbal during glass class. And so we're going to be able to do some quick videos promoting your business, as well as some beautiful photography from Tara. Good timing. So stay tuned. We're going to be trying to schedule those throughout the summer. And then September, we're going to have our member appreciation event. Hopefully that can be in person at Arrowhead Ranch. If not, we'll do a drive-through. Let's just assume we're all fine. October, we're going to have a candidate forum that will be here at the Camano Center, and those will be candidates that impact Camano Island directly. We're also going to do our own Business People of the Year awards. So in some ways, moving it to the fall really helps us because we always got confused with the newspapers awards happening at the same time. So the Business People of the Year will be October. And then we finally scheduled Chili Chowder Cook-Off. Thank goodness. So it is what are we calling it? The almost 25th annual? The almost 25th annual Chili Chowder Cook-Off.
Almost annual.
The 25th almost annual, thank you. November 12th. So let's just fingers crossed, we're going for it. And then we're gonna do Shop Local, Win Local again. And then here we are, Glass Quest again. Wow, I'm tired. I was speeding through the year. So lots of things coming up. Any questions? comments, anything? All right. Well, it was wonderful seeing everybody. Feel free to take the stuff on the table. There's more food here. If you guys didn't get lunch back there, feel free to.
You want to
grab it.
explain
Oh.
this stuff?
So that is, well, hold on a second. There are also COVID tests, should anyone want a COVID test. Do you want to explain your CDs?
Yeah, so these are from past musical selves and a children's book. So these are free. I'm not selling them today. They're in my garage and I'm trying to share the wealth. So anyway, there's a children's book that is award winner about dogs and self-esteem about my own dogs. And these products are from my business with my twin sister over the last 20 years, and she and I are no longer in business together. Yeah. Anyway, so just take it if you have children that you know that still play CDs and DVDs. So, all
right. Thank you.
Can I say something in support of that?
Yes, please.
Linda won't say this herself, but she has a Patreon site where she's got a way for you to actually help her business. So if you'd like to sponsor Linda, that's a good way.
There we go. Absolutely. And we're already bugging Linda to be the music at Chili Chowder Cook-Off, because Fiddle and Squeeze could be a perfect fit, I think, for Chili Chowder Cook-Off too.
Sam and I play together too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we do gypsy jazz or gypsy baroque, is what we kind of call it. It's
Next
more-
meeting, we're going to have you guys musically entertaining us. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Great seeing you. I would turn on the lights, but I'm afraid it's going to shock everyone. So we'll go in the dark. Thank you, people on Zoom. Great seeing you. Bye.